Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So obviously not in regular room today. Today's video we are going book shopping. So every year I usually go book shopping around the fall, and I go get spooky books or just some fall cozy books or literally just anything that catches my eye while I'm in the bookstore. This year I have some books that I'm going to get. My mom's a big fan of Dan Brown and that new book is out now. I saw online they had autographed copies, so we'll see. Looked like there were some new spooky books out that look kind of cool. And then I'll just be keeping an eye out for anything else that looks interesting that I might want to read. Usually I try to go for some spooky books, but inevitably I come out with other things. Right now I'm leaving work and we're gonna go to Dutch Bros and I'm gonna get a coffee, and then we're gonna go to Barnes & Noble. I was gonna go up to a local independent bookstore that we have, but honestly, it's a Friday afternoon, it's downtown traffic, and that's gonna be a pain that I don't feel like dealing with. So we're gonna go up to Barnes & Noble instead. But hey, you know, I'm always willing to rack up some points at Barnes & Noble. This is my favorite time of the year, if you haven't been able to tell via the channel so far. And this is one of my favorite things that I do every year. I always treat myself to a fall book shopping trip where I literally just take myself to get a coffee and go book shopping, and I kind of let myself get whatever I want because I don't normally book shop a lot. Really, I book shop online mostly, and that's really only if somebody's out with a new book that sounds interesting, or like a favorite author comes out with a new book, or I've got to get something for book club. That's usually the only time I book shop anymore. I used to be much more energetic about it, but not really much anymore. Just trying to save money mostly. But this is the one time a year that I let myself kind of spend that money, and I always go get a coffee. And let's be honest, I'm picking up Olive Garden on the way home because that's my favorite restaurant and can't not pick up Olive Garden. So let's get going. I also do want to give a quick shout out to this company that I've never heard of before, but shout out, Joy Tutus. It's this like suction cup phone mount thing that's been all over everyone's TikTok, not just mine. And legitimately, guys, this works because it's like really hard to get off of my windshield. So yeah, shout out to that. Shout out to a quality TikTok shop item. We love it when things work out. You too. Okay, we're gonna try this. I have never had Dutch Bros pumpkin latte, which is huge because I'm a huge latte person, but I just started liking, I just started trying Dutch Bros last year and have discovered that it is officially my favorite coffee of all time. It really doesn't get much better than Dutch Bros. I'm not gonna lie, the Golden Eagle is my absolute favorite thing on this planet. Every time pumpkin spice lattes come out, that's immediately my go-to coffee order until they don't have them anymore. So much to the point that the Dunkin' and the Starbucks that are on my way to work know me. This is the iced caramel pumpkin brulee latte from Dutch Bros. We're gonna try it. It looks delicious. You cannot see it. I don't know how to help the situation. There we go. Okay, so it looks fantastic. I'm trying not to spill it out the side, but doesn't that not look so good? And I have these little koozie things that I use to keep my drinks cold. Yep. Ladies and gentlemen, her. If anyone ever tried to tell me that Dutch Bros wasn't good, quite frankly, they're lying. Okay, so don't walk, run to Dutch Bros for the iced caramel brulee pumpkin latte, whatever you want to call it. Now that we have caffeine and, you know, pumpkin, because it's fall, we're gonna go to Barnes & Noble. I'll probably try and polish this off in the parking lot because I don't really want to have to hold it while I'm perusing, especially because our Barnes & Noble acquiring baskets was the worst thing to ever happen to me because now I buy lots of things, but I don't want to have to hold this and carry a basket and have my phone. So we're gonna go to Barnes & Noble and polish this off on the way. Also, traffic was horrendous. I'm not really sure what's going on. I think it's football traffic because UT plays tomorrow. Also, it's Friday, so maybe people are just like off early. I really don't know. I don't know. It's 3:30 on a Friday. What are y'all doing? All right, let's hit it. Okay, we're here. I have to pee like no one's ever had to pee before. So pretty much just gonna go straight in here and pee, and then we'll do the like official vlog type videos. But yes, we're here at Barnes & Noble and let's go see what we can find. Okay, so sorry if my air conditioning in the background is annoying, but I have the worst headache that anyone's ever had in their entire life, and I need the air. It's called too much caffeine, not enough food. Never do that in your life. Okay, so anyways, I didn't film much in there. There were so many people in there, like everyone was looking at the spooky books, so there was a lot going on. They had tons of spooky book tables out, which I was really excited because, you know, it is still September, so I didn't know if they would have the spooky books out, but they did. So I'm gonna show you what I got. So starting off with a non-book item at all, is the vinyl record for Spirited Away. If you don't know, this is one of my favorite movies of all time. It is a Studio Ghibli film. Yes, it is an anime. I don't watch anime, but I love Studio Ghibli. I don't know why that is, and I've really never tried to watch other animes, other than if you count Avatar: The Last Airbender, but this Studio Ghibli is my favorite movies of all time, and Spirited Away is my #1 favorite. I love it with all my heart. And so they had the vinyl record in there, which I've been wanting to get for a while, but let me tell you, Barnes & Noble was on one with the vinyl records today, and I had to use every single bit of my willpower to come out of there with only one record, because guys, they had Hannah Montana 3 on vinyl. They had the Hannah Montana movie on vinyl. They had Princess Diaries. They had Cheetah Girls 2. They had High School Musical 3, High School Musical 2, Wizards of Waverly Place. They had all the Disney, and it took every ounce of my being to walk out of there without every single one of those records. I came so close to getting Cheetah Girls too. But honestly, stuff like that, I tend to try not to get records of. I really only like records of like newer stuff, if that makes sense. And then I've been wanting the record for this for a while. The really cool part is that it is all written in Japanese, even the song list. So it's gonna be a fun surprise finding out which song is which. Spooky books. Okay, so first one we have here is Smile for the Cameras by Miranda Smith. So this was obviously in the spooky book section. Really cool thing, it's signed. I guess she came in there. She might be from Tennessee because it literally takes place in Tennessee, which I thought was really cool. So she might actually be from here, and I'm curious. Let's see. It doesn't say, but I'm gonna look her up because, hi, thanks for writing about Tennessee. So that's really cool. And this is a fake sticker. Like, it just looks really cool. It kind of gave me like Geneva Rose, Home is Where the Bodies Are, like kind of vibes going on. But essentially this book is about a girl named Ella Winters who was in this slasher film called Grad Night, and I guess everything that happened behind the scenes was not as copacetic as it appeared, and they're having a reunion documentary being filmed, and I think it's supposed to be pretty creepy. Can the final girl survive one last nightmare? Is that not crazy? That sounds so good. Anyways, I'm excited about this one, so we got that. Kind of not really specifically spooky, but I did get T. Kingfisher. This is a sorceress comes to call. Almost said, I was trying to figure out if it was sorceress. Sorry, that's what happens when you try to read through a camera that is reading it to you backwards. Anyways, by T. Kingfisher. I have only read one book by her so far, which was Thornhedge, and I loved it. And she was actually at the Arizona festival that I went to earlier this year, and I didn't go meet her because I wasn't a fan of hers at the time, didn't even know who she was, and now I wish I would have. So if she's there again next year, I'm going to meet her. But I'm excited about this. The lady who checked me out said that she really likes T. Kingfisher books. She didn't say if she had read this one, but it sounds good. I have pretty much figured out that I think I'm gonna like anything by T. Kingfisher. She tends to write a lot of fantasies, usually involving like fairies and fae, and so that's always really fun. I love books that are just like a simple fae story that aren't like, don't get me wrong, I'm a live laugh lover of Sarah J. Maas, but I kind of like a traditional fae and fairy story every once in a while. You know, I don't mind the fae and fairy that's in ACOTAR and Throne of Glass, but every once in a while you want like a traditional fae story. So she tends to write stuff like that. So anyways, we're gonna give this one a try. So kind of coming off of the spooky books, because unfortunately that's about all I got for spooky books. I got Quicksilver by Callie Hart. Hallie, my cousin, has read this and she really liked it. It has really good ratings on Goodreads, and this book cover and page is gorgeous. So I had to get this. And see, ladies and gentlemen, I know that we were very upset with the new Barnes & Noble ACOTAR editions that are just blacked out. And my argument with that was, they're not the worst things I've ever seen, but they felt like lazy, and I wouldn't have minded if they were all blacked and like had a little something on the side. This is blacked with something on the side. I mean, look at the wording on this. It's gorgeous, it's shimmery, and then you have silver pages, and even the back has stuff going on. And see, that was the issue with the ACOTAR stuff, is it was just black with nothing going on. That was it. So this has a little something going on, and that's how you do it, ladies and gentlemen. So this looks like, I've been wanting to read this book for a minute. It's on my Kindle, but this special edition was gorgeous and I had to get it. Okay, so my mom's a big fan of Dan Brown, and his new book, The Secret of Secrets, was out, so I snagged it for her while she is glamping. But she's a huge Dan Brown fan, and she didn't know that he had a new book out, so I went ahead and snagged that for her. So this is my mom's. By now you've probably watched my cozy books for the fall. video, maybe. If you haven't, then you don't know that I am a collector of Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. It's one of my favorite novels of all time. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. Shout out the 2005 version. I love the BBC show. I'm planning a trip to London next fall to hopefully get to go to see the filming locations from the 2005 adaptation. I own, well, it's changed now. Before coming to Barnes & Noble, owned 13 copies. Potentially own 14. One of my friends went to Tate McRae last night and potentially picked me up copy number 14. I don't know if she did yet or not, so we're just gonna go with 13 for now. And I'm now a proud owner of 15. Not 14, 15. Because they had some new additions in Barnes & Noble. This is a collector's edition. It has 2 books because it's volumes 1 and 2 and then 3 and 4, and it has the letters and everything in it, and this was just too gorgeous to pass up. It literally, like, look at everything that's in that. I'm obsessed, so I can't wait to bust this open and read everything. The complete novel featuring the characters' letters and papers written and folded by hand. Yay! This is making copy number 15, potentially 16 if my friend brings back that copy from Nashville. So, you know, there are worse things to collect in life than books, and I'm proud to say that I own 15 copies of Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, because why shouldn't you? That's what I got. So, I am very excited about the new spooky books that I got. I have spooky books that I'm going to be reading this year. I kind of want to get started on them a little early in September, especially since I picked up a new one, just because I have so many to read. And Aaron A. Craig came out with a new book, and so that is getting tacked on. So now this is getting tacked on. So, and it was already a full schedule, so I'm probably going to start a little early in September. But that is something you can look forward to, is I will be posting a video of all the books that I'm going to read this spooky season. One thing about me, if you haven't watched other videos and you don't know, I love in September to read mysteries, and then in October I read a lot of like supernatural, paranormal type books. I don't do well with horror movies, so I'm a little nervous to read horror books, if that makes sense. Because unfortunately, you can't turn away from the book. You can turn away from the TV screen. You can't turn away from the book. I'll end up like Joey and put it in the freezer. Shout out, friends. So I'm going to be posting a video soon of all the books that I'm going to read in October. That list is probably going to be extensive because it probably will include some of the books I started with in September. Little factoid. So just a couple seconds ago, I said that I like to read mystery books in September, which is still true. However, the Wuthering Heights trailer came out. If you've seen it, then you understand. I'm a huge fan of books, obviously. And I get just as upset as the next gal when I really like a book and it gets turned into a show or movie and it's nothing like the book. Shadowhunters. Excuse me. And I have not read Wuthering Heights, but I understand the upset around the movie because I haven't read it, but I know enough to know that that's not like the book at all. Quite frankly, these words will never leave my mouth again. They've never been uttered out of my mouth before. They'll never come out again. Nothing like the book, and I really don't care. Because that trailer was life-changing, and if you don't think it was, you're lying to yourself. Guys, I just need you, for all of you that are upset about it, look at it as not Wuthering Heights, and then tell me if you like the trailer. Specifically, I'm speaking to my dark romance and romance girlies, because if you don't like those types of books or movies, you probably really don't like the trailer. However, for all my dark romance girlies, are we not swooning? I'm swooning. Hello? That looked fantastic. Also, who wouldn't be excited about Charlie XCX doing the album for that movie? Because that trailer song was already amazing, and I've listened to it so many times I've lost count. It's really that bad. Anyways, all of this was to say that in September, I really only read a lot of mystery thriller books. Guys, I finished The Only One Left by Riley Sager, which is an amazing book. Fantastic, 10 out of 10, high key recommend. And towards the end of me finishing that book is when that trailer came out, and I watched it 37,000 times. And so when I finished The Only One Left, I was like, guys, I can't read another mystery book right now. I have to read a dark romance. So shout out to the fact that I'm currently reading Carnage by Chantal Tessier. By the time this video comes out, I've definitely finished it, so go check it out on my Bookstagram to see my review. But I had to read a dark romance just to get the dang trailer for Wuthering Heights out of my system. It affected me that much. I would also like to say that the movie title is in quotes, so I don't think it's supposed to be a direct representation. Now, with that said, I do agree with the people commenting and saying, if you wanted to make a dark romance period, drama, romance, you didn't have to make it Wuthering Heights. You could have made it literally anything else, and I agree. I do agree with that. I agree, like, they probably could have made it anything else other than Wuthering Heights. I get it. But I don't know. I agree with that wholeheartedly. But at the same time, I've watched that trailer so many times, and I am so excited for that movie. It looks so good. Galentine's Day, here we come. Anyways, it looks kind of like a period drama version of 50 Shades of Grey, but I'm here. I'm sat. I'm in the theater. The people are telling me to leave because the movie's not out yet, but I'm sat. I hope that you enjoyed the little brief glimpses of Barnes & Noble that you got. Sorry I couldn't do more. Honestly, it was very overwhelming because they had so many like spooky tables that I was having to read things, and there was a bunch of old people in there looking at me like I was crazy for filming things. And then also there were some high schooler girls in there, and I was really intimidated by the high school girls looking at me filming, like, please leave me alone. Don't make fun of me, please. It was really intimidating. Anyways, does anybody else, like, I'm in my late 20s, does anybody else in their late 20s, early 30s feel very intimidated by high school girls because you know how high school girls were when you were in high school? Because I do. So I'm going to go get some Olive Garden, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. You know, it might be a little on the shorter side. I'm not really sure where this ends up when I edit it. But I'm gonna go get some Olive Garden and head to the house because my dog's been alone all day and I'm exhausted, and I'm gonna turn on Game of Thrones and eat my Olive Garden. It's gonna be great. I'm on my 4th Game of Thrones rewatch. It's a good time. And then before I go to bed, I'm gonna read more Carnage because it's so good. It's so good. If you haven't already, be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. And shout out to my cousin Katie for all the music that you hear during this vlog. Let me know below if you have read any of these books, or you know what books are you reading in October? Because am I the only one that reads those types of books during October? I'm sure I'm not, but let me know what spooky books you're picking up and what books you're excited to read for spooky season. Let me know if you've read any of these books and what your thoughts were on it. Be sure and follow my Instagram for this channel at carmens.corner. I think that's it. It's gonna be over here somewhere, because I'll be posting updates on, you know, anything happening on this channel, as well as like maybe some short little reels. I did a like shopping haul from Beals on my Instagram, so go check that out. Also, if you haven't already, be sure to follow my Bookstagram at Carmen's Reading Corner, where I post all my book reviews, and I will be cross-posting any bookish content on here with my channel Instagram and my Bookstagram. So if you like bookish content, if you like Bookstagram vibes, go follow my Bookstagram. I think that's about it. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video, which I think might be my spooky TBR. Go follow the Instagram if you want a teaser and to find out before anyone else does. Yay! Bye!